I'll always know what you did last summer. I know a lot of you have probably seen this at your local video store plenty of times. It was direct to DVD in 2006. It's in the same world as the original franchise from the late 90s, Jennifer Love Hewitt, Freddie Prinze Jr. story. But none of those characters are in this movie. It doesn't follow that storyline. Basically, it's 10 years after that, and the fisherman story has become legendary and like an urban legend and a tall tale, basically. So, in this one, it's about a kids that pull off a prank about the fishermen at a local carnival. It opens up at the carnival, and it's like similar to Final Destination 3. That's the feel that you get. They even use a camera in that part, and they both came out in 2006. So it's a prank gone wrong, and this movie's really got like a direct to DVD feel. The camera that they use was like someone compared it to Instagram on the computer. And it's not even like a good quality camera. You'd think that even though it was direct to DVD, you still see some like good quality like style camera, because this is a big franchise still. But it went real cheap. It didn't even feel like an I'll always know what you did last summer movie. But so it's a prank gone wrong, similar to like the April Fool's Day remake or the Prom Night original or Pretty Little Liars. In fact, they get text messages from the killer. It plays out like a whodunit. They get text messages just like Pretty Little Liars. And the girl who's cast as Zoe in this movie plays Spencer's sister in Pretty Little Liars. She's the hottest girl in this, even though they make her like some punk rock chick. I think she was about 21, 22 when they filmed this. Anyway, so most of the movie sucks and is really lackluster. And later on, alright, the rest of this review is going to be for people who've seen it, so but I don't recommend seeing it, so check it out on your own will. Anyway, so on to spoilers. So as it goes on, you're like, they don't introduce that many characters, so the Lance kid's like a total red herring. Actually, you think he almost did it because you think he's in on it with, because their friend dies, and a year later pass. And you think it might be the sheriff. The sheriff's the biggest red herring, but he has too great of a motive. Actually, they make you believe it's the sheriff's the red herring, and I really thought it was going to end up being this kid. But then as it goes on, they reveal that they based the prank off of... They show articles of the Ben Willis in the first two movies about how he killed on the Bahamas and everything. It's not like this franchise was that good to begin with. I mean, those movies kind of are dated and kind of suck for their time, and so then you're like, alright, who is it? And then like everyone starts getting killed at the end by the fisherman. The fisherman you're like, okay, they're running out of characters because they didn't introduce that many characters, so who the hell could it be? And then they freaking reveal that it's the Ben Willis, the fisherman character from the original franchise. Like, he's become like Bloody Mary, or they turned him into like the Candy Man. Like, he shows when you call his name. That's what it ends up being. And you're like, okay, he's a goon, but what's a goon to a goblin? They turned Ben Willis into a zombie. Unbelievable. I didn't even see that come, because it's just so stupid. Because the world was set up into realism. And they show his face, and he looks like one of those reject characters from like Hellboy or like House of the Dead. D+ for me. not any higher. Actually, on a good day, you'd say C minus. It's somewhat watchable, but not really. They don't go legits and show the tits. The gore is fine, but there's nothing really positive to talk about in this movie. It gets a D plus for all the reasons that I said. Kind of ruin the characters, and there's nothing interesting to talk about. No suspense, and no good twist ending. It's like, oh yeah, that's Ben Willis. Okay. I don't believe it, but okay. Anyway, this was JBM from Villain News, Villain Radio, Mr. Creepshow 9. Those are my channels on YouTube. And leave your comment. Tell me what you think about this franchise. They really need to resurrect its Scream style. They were talking about doing the new trilogy and bringing back Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. In fact, I did that video, A Future of the Franchise, and I Know What You Did Last Summer. It's got to get resurrected eventually. There will be another movie, whether it's a reboot or a continuation to the second one, because the second one, she gets dragged under the bed and it's left ambiguous, so you don't know if it was a nightmare or if Ben Willis is still alive. It's a horror movie. You could bring back anyone to life. Anyway, this was JBM, and like I said, I'm done now. I'm out.